Hey lighting fanatics, today I'm going to show you this IKEA 7-watt A15 style self-ballasted CFL, which I found at the Key Training Center thrift store in Inverness, Florida a few months ago. This is a pretty small CFL, and it's obviously trying to be a replacement for one of these A15 candelabra based quote-unquote ceiling fan bulbs. So that's kind of what this CFL is designed to be, but it could also be used as a regular bulb too, with the appropriate adapter, I suppose. It has a glass cover over the tube inside, which is not like a helical tube. It's actually, not sure how well you'll be able to see. I'll get the flashlight here and try and show you. It's like 3 U-tubes inside. Hopefully you can see that well enough. So it's kind of an interesting design. Usually these covered CFLs are just a helical tube inside. Down here we have the plastic part where the ballast is held, and it's actually pretty large compared to the actual part of the bulb that is the fluorescent tube itself. But there's an electronic ballast in there, so it can be run directly off of 120 volt power. And then on the bottom here, of course, we have our candelabra base E12 in size, and I'm not sure, but it almost seems like this might be kind of designed to have an adapter that goes with it, but I don't know. And another thing about this glass here that you might notice is how there's these weird like white specks in it. I almost wonder if there used to be like a coating in here or something and it just got knocked off somehow. That's weird. That stuff's definitely on the inside though, because I've tried wiping it off, it will not come off, so it's definitely on the inside of the glass, but I just don't know what that is. That's really weird. Here's the etch on the bulb. Let's zoom in on that so we can get a clearer shot. It's IKEA-branded, though it's actually manufactured by a European lighting company called Megaman. They made pretty good CFLs, as we'll see in a bit here. Not for use with dimmers, not for use in totally enclosed recessed fixtures. Oh boy, here we go again. You can use it in an enclosed fixture that's not recessed, or you can use it in a recessed fixture that's not totally enclosed, but you can't use it in one that's both of those. Oh boy. Risk of electric shock, used in dry location only, blah blah blah. It's model GA607/E12, implying that there might have been a version of this bulb with an E26 base as well, not sure though. 98 milliamps, 260 lumens, so definitely a 25 watt equivalent, which is kind of unusual. It's 7 watts, it's AC 120 volts, 60 hertz, and then I'm pretty sure that 0844 is a date code, which would be 2008 44th week in this case. It's ETL listed, and another language. Well, I guess it is time to go ahead and put this bulb in a socket and see how well it performs. Alright, here we have the kilowatt meter. So we'll be able to see if it's actually 7 watts and 98 milliamps. And we have our socket here, but in order to use the bulb with it, we're going to have to use this adapter which converts the E12 candelabra base into an E26 medium base, like this socket accepts. Now we can just screw it into the socket, and there we go. And finally, we gotta go ahead and plug the socket into the kilowatt meter. Now we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and turn the lights off and turn this bulb on. Alright, we have 123.9 volts coming in. Switch it to watts. And let's go ahead and turn this CFL on in 3, 2, 1. And it is a nice programmed start, as you can tell. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. Very nice. Lower the exposure and do it one more time. Pretty nice. These Megaman manufactured IKEA branded CFLs are well known for being programmed start, not resonant start like most CFLs, so these last an extremely long time. Right off the bat, it's pulling 6.9 watts, which is pretty much right on spec for it, so definitely a pretty good ballast as far as power draw is concerned. 7 watts, that's right on spec. 0.08 amps. So from my understanding, I think that's 80 milliamps, so a little bit less than 98, and it's a 0.64 power factor. That's not very good, but that's also to be expected because that's how all these CFLs were. I think it's pretty much at full brightness already, so let's go ahead and come up here and see how bright it is. Definitely a 25 watt equivalent, not all that bright, but not bad either, especially considering its size. It's a pretty tiny little CFL. And the color of the light itself is actually pretty nice. I mean, there's definitely better. It's definitely on the pinkish, or maybe even a little bit on the orangish side, but it looks pretty nice. Come over here. Here's what this stuff looks like. And finally, we will come over here. There's what that stuff looks like. And let's go ahead and zoom in on all of the things that we use to check color rendering. Honestly, the color rendering on this bulb is not all that great, I would say. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit more pinkish and maybe not as ideal of a warm white light, or if this bulb really has a lower CRI than normal, but these colors just look kind of muted and bland in my opinion. So, I don't think CRI is really this bulb's strong suit. But hey, if you're looking for longevity and not necessarily light quality, this is probably still a good CFL for you. Let's go ahead and turn it off and start it up one more time. Yep, it starts like programmed start still, so definitely not a resonant start, because even if the resonant start has the PTC control, it'll still start up instantly if it's hot when it's switched on, because that's just how it works. 6.6 watts, so it actually went down a little bit compared to the last time we checked it, but still pretty much on spec. I will definitely give them the point for power draw. So let's go ahead and turn this bulb off and get the lights turned back on. Alright, the lights have been turned back on, and it is time to unscrew the bulb from the socket. It is a little bit warm, but not untouchable. You can still unscrew it even after it's been on. Not like you really need to do that anyway. Let's go ahead and take one last look at it, starting with the top. And all those weird white specks all over the glass. I have no idea what that is or where it came from. That is very weird. Here's the base. And finally, the information. Well, there you have it. The tiny little IKEA A15 style covered CFL, which is 7 watts and a 25 watt equivalent, meant to replace one of these ceiling fan bulbs. Kind of a silly bulb format. Well, if you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to leave a like down below. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you want to see more cool lighting videos in the future, be sure to subscribe. See you next time.